Hey guys, it's me, Karma Armor on Twitch, True S Armor on YouTube, and here at the Restreamer, I am True Armor. How are you? Had a hurricane yesterday. Uh, I don't know who will stop the rain, but the rain was stopped. So I really expected it to rain for 3 days, like it normally does every hurricane. Is this a weird anomaly of climate change? I don't know. Well, early, right? What time is it? Come on. It's 6:58. We're 3 minutes early. All right, I'm assuming that we're 3 minutes early because I actually got here like 10 minutes ago. But 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah, it's a pretty good day. It's sunny AF. The birds are birding, the bees are being, the trees are treeing. It's a lovely holiday. Uh, I can see that Haps is doing that weird thing with the imagery again. At this point, I don't even know what to do. I might as well just pay for a restreamer to do everything I'm going to be able to do. Again, I'm appreciative, but some of this stuff is just, it's like I'm trying to, well, what am I getting out of supporting this thing anyway? Not like I'm a fucking stockholder. I stand to make no cash. Flossing. What the hell is flossing? How did I miss that this week? The first African American student to win a national spelling bee. Yeah, it's 2021. Here's the thing: we got other shit to be concerned about other than spelling bees. I got no smokables. That is fine. My smokable insulin yesterday was a travesty. Let's put this up here. Where am I gonna keep this thing? Everything is on my desk is black. So every time I put it down, it disappears into a sea of darkness. Yeah. More black shit. Black mouth saber. Oh man, I gotta do that. Let's put this on top of this and deal with both of these in about an hour. Remember, our morning shows are about an hour, so people can just have a cup of coffee, have a cup of coffee, get together and chill. That's good coffee. And Hap still has not done right by the visuals. Like I said 2 days ago, it was like this for like 15 minutes. It was really, you can't even read my cool ass t-shirt. Right. But at least the last time it was, I mean, look, the Chiron is clear. Oh, I don't even know what to tell you, homie. All right. So what happened yesterday? Yesterday, we talked a lot about the storm. I know it's early. I have incense burning in the other room because I'm a freaking hippie. Um, put this here. Okay. And we have this just in case we need to roll the dice. All right. So what are we doing? We're going to concentrate our energies on sort of dialing in the stuff we learned over the last month. Because while we're learning them, which is good, I was thinking yesterday, I mean, if I know if I know how to make you a meal, right? Steak, egg, potatoes, cornbread, it's not enough that like I know how to make all these things, right? They have to be right. You don't want to get into the cornbread and the middle is still not done, and a raw steak, not a raw steak, but like if you want it well done and it's bleeding, you may not like it. I'll devour that thing, but you may not like it. What if the mashed potatoes were just sort of only cooked for 20 minutes and just manually forced? You would be like, yeah, you get the concept of what a breakfast and a good meal is, but your what's the word I'm looking for? Good Lord, me and my words. I can't even pull words out of my head in the morning. But your way to go about producing this meal that we're all talking about is a standard good meal, steak, egg, potatoes, or what if, well, not if you're, I guess, a vegan or a vegetarian, then it's just salad. How do you fuck up salad? Right? So if you do that, people get that you know the concept of it, but people want to know that you can do it in practice. And I think that's where we are. I think we know a lot of this stuff, but we're not doing it in practice. And I swear to God, Haps, you really do need to fix this camera thing. It doesn't make any sense. No wonder this shit is free. Seriously. And it only ever seems to be me. I look at other people's streams and it's clear. So it can't, well, I don't know, man. What is going on here with this stream? Is it me? It can't be my setup. This is the only time I ever have this problem. And I've gone live a lot, not just on Hips. So I don't know. I can't figure it out. I was supposed to put you guys in the bookshelf. Well, let's leave it. I'm about to grab it. So I gotta find a place to put. I guess I'll put that up there on the wall because that's in a frame. My other post, I was looking for some place to put it. I mean, I could put it there where my flag of the world post flag is, and put that flag of the world poster opposite my other department poster, which since they're about the same size, there'll be a little some symmetry in it. But you don't really care how I'm going to hang a poster, do you? Nah, I didn't think so. I hope your morning is good. Let's run through some morning news. Let's see if we don't have that up right here. We can swing that here and put my feet up on the table like a baller. All right, so I was reading the story, The Daily Beast, about Eric Adams, right? And it's just, I want to smack the guy who wrote it. So it's opinion, but it's all slimy, snarly, and bullshit, right? It's the exact opposite of a fluff piece that they write for all their friends. For a guy who they disagree with, he doesn't have a bad history of doing anything. All right, let's lower this. He doesn't have a bad history of doing anything. Keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind first, right? But I'm just going to give you the first paragraph. Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams has won the Democratic primary for New York City, comma, Associated Press reported Tuesday. Nothing wrong with that. That's information pretty legit. With nearly all of the absentee ballots finally counted by the city's notoriety inept board of elections. So you're going to throw some shade at the election board and then later on bring it around to sort of insinuate their fuck uppery is sort of why Eric won by 1%. See what I'm saying? He's alluding to shit. In the second paragraph, not even actually his first paragraph the first paragraph is statement of fact. The Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams won the Democratic primary from New York City Mayor's Association. The press reported, right? Nothing wrong with that. Then he gets into this kind of like nudge, nudge, wink, wink kind of shit that I always see with some people. And some people are always sort of have racist leanings to shit, right? So let's go through that paragraph again. With nearly all the absentee ballots finally counted, the city's notoriously inept board of elections, Adams, a former police officer who would be the city's second black mayor. That's right. But he was more than a former police officer. He was a former New York City police captain, right? Stop acting like he was some hump walking the street like I was, right? They're not even giving him his due. He was a police captain. If you were a lawyer and they were like, so-and-so legal work, somebody think you were a paralegal, right? You'd be like, whoa. I'm an attorney, right? Like doctors go, don't call me Mr. up there, ask about this title. And by the way, why should I have to call you anything? Mr. It's perfectly fine. So you get into this whole thing of people, and then society sort of adapts to it. Call a doctor Mr. and see what you get. You might as well call him a stupid cunt, excuse my language, but it's that kind of thing. You know, it's goofy, and mind you, they're people. So they're not above you in any station other than this bullshit rank that they have that you now have to buy into. And you also have to buy into it with the gays. My pronouns are fuck your pronouns. Dude, if you look like a lady, I'll call you a lady because I'm polite like that. We got a guy, I'm off the topic. We got a guy, we got a person over here who works at the Burger King. He's got 3-day shadow and growth. He's got nice lady earrings. He's got a lady bun hat tied up on his head, like in a wrap, like dreads and stuff. He got nail polish and fingernail, but his hands are like, right? It sounds like, and he's just kind of like, I mean, he's not like built. He's just kind of like sloppy, but his hand, he's still got man, and nothing about him other than makeup and this hair, and you know, his name tag says it's like it's a cliche lady name like Barbie or Debbie or something like. But he looks like a Chuck or a Bill or a Tom. Why do I have to humor this? Right? I'm not. I'm not. I'm not humoring any of this shit till I get what I want. This is a hostage situation all of a sudden. You know what? I fucking want to be able to catch a cab in New York. Those days are over. Right? But in my whole life of living in New York, catching a cab was a drama. Cops rolling up fucking with me. I want that to end before I humor any of this stuff. Any of it. And I fully encourage, like I was telling, you better watch who your allies are because you're doing a lot more for them than they're doing for you. And that's not about hate. That's just kind of about respect. So just because they are in the bed of this guy's truck eating these, I guess they should all be soggy now. Can I swing this thing around and show you these birds? Can you even see it from this side of it? Well, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. So you know, this article is just completely disrespectful, and of course, it's an opinion piece because his opinion is bullshit. Notorious in that board of electors, officers who will be a former police officer will be the second black mayor bested by former senator. Okay, but what happened to the first black mayor? It was absolute chaos. The city was opening and arguing. There was a police riot because they didn't like and the mayor gets to fire your ass. So think about that. Think about that. He should have, and he didn't. This is just emboldening people with a fucked up position who've been told they had a fucked up position in this country for 300 years and counting, longer than that actually, right? And then you find it in the fucking newspaper, and no one calls them on it. And he'll tell you, "I'm a journalist." You better watch journalists. They're the first people to lie on you, right? But they're also the first people to go, "Oh my God, journalists," meaning me, "I'm under attack." So the only person that they really, really care about are journalists. Oh my God. Do we even need to read any more of this? I mean, it gets worse. I mean, the guy is obviously a ridiculous person. Black Mayor Best Sanitation Commissioner Catherine Garcia by 850 votes. And this ranked church voting thing seems like a really clever way of stealing elections from people. Talking about look, the idea that everybody, 5 people in, and they place where they place, and then you give a second round ballot of all the people, so then maybe some people can displace the person who's leading is bullshit. You know, these are supposed to be fair elections. Just because you come up with an election scheme and you ordain it doesn't mean it's a fair election. I mean, America has a history. Let me watch what I say about American fucking elections because YouTube is a wonky bitch. America has a history, speaking from a black person's perspective, right? Which is fact, YouTube, that America has a history of fucking with elections, from making black people walk to the polls at gunpoint to cast these ballots, and before that, making sure they didn't cast a ballot at all with violence. So to say that everything's fair because you want it to be fair and you know who's running is bullshit. And the history belies the fact of that. Maybe I should try and get fucking banned so I could get some of this YouTube money. Give me $1 billion, start my own fucking platform, you idiots. The idea that you're crunching on freedom of speech in this country, like you're in charge of it. Yeah, I'm all pro original shit. I'm pro gun. Don't let these billionaires take your guns from you. I'm pro First Amendment. Say what you say, as long as you keep your hands to yourself. Yeah. So the whole thing is just goofy, nonsensical, oligarchical bullshit. You only hear what one group I really do feel has to say about any topic, and everyone else get labeled a whack job crazy person. Whack job crazy people. Here we go. Adam told last year he would carry a gun as mayor, which retired police officers are allowed to do. Woohoo! And fire his security detail. That's bullshit. Okay, you're not going to fire your security detail. First of all, I'm granted you're not the president, but New York is still freaking 20. How many people in New York? 15 million people in this, not in the city proper. I used to know this. How many people are in New York State versus how many are in New York City? The majority of are in the city, and I would say that's about 8 to 10 million people, right? It's probably more than that now. How many NYC residents? Yeah, I should write how many actual New York City residents versus all these people who came in for the money and who are now leaving because the city is sort of in a shit show. I got to tell you, grew up there, loved the place, but now it's not my favorite place anymore. It really isn't. You think that the place you grew up, the place you climbed your first tree and got your first kiss with all these memories would be like, how many, what's the population, would be like your favorite place. But every time I go there, there's all these foreigners. And I mean foreigners from Europe walking around. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I can't get what? I mean, so thoroughly, so 8.4 million. So and it's dropping. So thoroughly sold us out. The city fathers of New York City. So thoroughly put a fucking dagger in the goose that laid the golden egg. Nobody wants to be there. Just like California. I mean, you could only fuck that up, and they did. It's like America. You can only fuck America. No one else can get in here and fuck this place up. The Chinese are trying, but you need help to do that. And the Chinese have a lot of help in fucking this place up. So yeah, yeah. Um, there's a nice thing here that Adam grew up in Bushwick and was beaten by the police as a teen before joining the New York City Police Department to try to reform it. That's why I joined it, try to reform it from within. And he kept on his mission, ran a campaign promising to restore New York to New Yorkers who have been left behind by decades of progress in gentrification. I'm out because of gentrification, right? Landed on my feet, not living with my family, but living close to family, which I wasn't in New York. My sister had moved further out, and I was essentially the only one in the city proper. So yeah, he gave a fiery speech on Martin Luther King Day at Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network, which is just don't even get me started. Don't even start down that road. Just finish this. Okay, I'm going to finish this and not even start on the National Action Network. When he ripped newcomers to the city who are hijacking your apartments and displacing your living arrangements, told them to go back to Iowa. You go back to Iowa. New York City belongs to belongs to the people that were here and made New York City what it is. And that's the truth. You know, you bust your ass in that city, and then all of a sudden they sell you out to all these people $3,000 rents. The only people that they want in the city is for people to fucking watch their children and deliver their food. Fuck you. Fuck you. Now the city is in a state. It really is in a state. I don't deal with hating people. I have a lot of friends in New York who were not originally from New York City. Uh, those who came up and down from the outer counties like Orange County, Rockland County, Nassau County, Suffolk County, who moved into the city because they had dreams. Right? That's fine. But then there was just an onslaught of other people who had never heard of New York and were racist as fuck, who wanted to had dreams of New York like every movie they ever saw, but had no black people in it. It's like Sex in the City. The only black people you see in those things are happy servants or somebody walking in the background. All this energy in a place that has racial history. Don't act like those don't play into. Uh, People who are getting the breaks in New York. But we as a black community, we're so on the bottom. More opinion bullshit. Trump organization that may spell trouble for Trump spawn. I told you that when they started these things. I told you one. Trump is not going to jail. Okay, just stop it. I will bet my hard freedom on it. Right? He's not. That's not what people don't even know the kind of country they live in. That's not what this country does. Because then you'd have to open up a can of worms into those Clintons. That fuckery, right? The only president you would have no questions about I think, is Carter. I think Obama probably too, because paranoid first black president wouldn't step out of pocket, but he's making a ton afterwards. So why would he? The Clintons are just shady AF. So and their history, they didn't even get to die before this all came out, right? Their history is now, part of why they're I won't say persona non grata, but I mean the Democratic Party still loves them. Come on, this streamer is really making me crazy. Um, the whole situation is just bananas for a number of reasons. And they want you to be loyal as they fuck you over. So, revenge is a thing. It really is. So you got to watch your ass. The idea that we really do require you to be stupid so we can remain in power is ridiculous. Schumer needs to go. Pelosi needs to go. She's over there insider trading. I'm sorry, can I say insider trading? Because maybe it's not insider trading to this untrained eye, but it fucking looks like insider trading, right? So, but we're above the law. We put judges in. They're not gonna. That's another thing. Trump going to jail. Trump put like 300 judges on the bench under Schumer, who didn't even fight it. You fucking. So yeah, I fully expect more black people to be murdered off by the cops with Republican judges that Schumer approved, right? As long as Schumer gets a ton of money to be sent to this foreign outlet he loves so much. There's a lot of open traitors running around in our political system. No one sends money to Italy like they send money to, you know what I'm saying? America had a real investment in this hemisphere. So what's going on in Haiti shouldn't have went on there. I mean, and America broke down these governments, and just because they were minorities, they didn't, very racist America, but if you come here and you part your hair and you're light enough and you go from Ricardo Espinosa to Rick Noza or Doza and tell people that you're Italian or something, you're in. And you get a lot of that. Like black people who were really light and could pass for white in the day back in the slave were passing, right? But that's hard to do. During the Nazi thing, a lot of Jews, some of them were blonde and blue-eyed, remember that, passed too. They wanted no drama. And they passed too. So I had this conversation with somebody. She was like, "You think that people would turn to that?" I was like, "Yes, you idiot. The idea of your arrogance that no one of your kind would fuck you over is ridiculous." And I'm glad they have a giant healthy opinion of themselves, but fucking get with reality. That's not the way it works. I mean, Bernie Madoff took you guys, mostly you guys, no black dudes have money with him, right? It was high end, a lot of Jewish connections, right? But high end everybody. He took them for like $30 billion. I mean, come on, Haps, you really got to fix your restreamer. Like the video, it's not radio. I said it yesterday. You got to fix it. All right, so what are we doing? We're not talking about any more politics. We have been shooting the shizzy for a little bitty. Let's kick up some practice. Let's do 10 minutes of something. So what did we do yesterday? 13 minutes is good. 13 colonies, 13 minutes. 13 is a good luck number for us Americans. Ooh, what a beautiful day. All right, that's it. One strum. All right, let's open this up. Let's raise this. And let's greet the friggin' day, baby. So, morning shows are only an hour. Maybe my morning show will be flipped to political shows since it's only an hour as I flip the guitar. But it's supposed to be 2 a days. It can't be a political show then a music show at night. That wouldn't be 2 a day. That would be 2 different shows once a day versus one show twice a day. Come on, we're learning this thing. And we know it, like I say every day, if you picked up guitar now, you'd be, let's say, you wouldn't exactly be 3 weeks behind us because we're doing this twice a day, but for like multiple hours a day. And if that was, like we said before, 45 minutes like you get at a guitar practice or something, not practice, a guitarist teacher. I think we did the loose math. This would be, we're way beyond 18 shows. This would be 18. 18 and 18 is 36, and 18 is 52, right? 8, 16, 24. So it'd be 54, right? 8, 6, and 24, and 30. Yeah, it'd be 54. All right. So, so that we would have had like 54 1-hour sessions already. Wow, really? I should be better, shouldn't I? I should be a lot better. Well, okay. No. Okay. Let's say we would have done 54 shows. I would have had to been an excellent student to be where I think I should be after 54 shows. 54 sessions for 45 minutes a session. And plus, we do a lot of laid back and easy talking. So maybe I would have been talking to guitar teacher like, shh, hush and do your stupid fingering, man. You're wasting all this time. Then I would have been like, I don't like that guy. Then I would have fired him and got somebody else. So we're doing this thing the way I guess I'm comfortable with. And that's laid back, even talking. It's sort of like I envision us sitting on like in a circle on tree stumps, right? Not even chairs, tree stumps in some wooded place. Dress as you would be, let's say, if you're like I'm about to say Indian American. Can you say that? Indigenous American, but I hate this term. Because no one calls black people indigenous Africans, right? Even but I grew up with the word Indian. I get why that's wrong for all sorts of reasons. But let's say you're sitting there like in a ceremonial headdress, and I'm sitting there with a ceremonial afro and a dashiki, and she's sitting there in a ceremonial, let's say she's German. What's ceremonially German? Like lederhosen or something? So everybody's just from someplace else, and like I envision us just sitting around talking, having coffee. We may do some notes and some we're definitely going to be doing that. But then we'll stop for a second and talk about anything. Man, I had that cake recipe was great. I looked it up online. Oh, we can find it right now. Look it up online. Or, this person did this political thing, and I think that's bad, and look that up online. And you may agree with them. It's not to say that if you agree with them, you're wrong or anything. We just went through Eric Adams. I'm a supporter of Eric Adams from a distance, and I'm also a supporter of the energy of Americans, right? And I always talk about that. And I don't like that people can come through and completely undo other Americans with the will of the state. I'm officially done with that shit. So yeah, it's not all of us getting together while only one group prospers. At this point, you're going to have all sorts of issues down the road, and you want everybody on board. And you're not going to have everybody on board. I really see, because let's face it, you're fucking killing kids, right? You know what I'm saying? So, that's it. That is it, and you can't promise people, oh, we're going to stop that. And, well, actually, you did before. And, come on. There are no, like I said before, there are no civil rights leaders to sit here and go, okay, black people, they're full of shit, but on this one, we all need to like put shit aside and do it. Only thing you have is these fucking sycophant who makes money in on racism. What did the groups call them? Race baiters. This was a word came up by the Republicans. They're always trying to demonize black civil rights people. But that's also a fancier word for what black people called some of this. But we're not stupid. We know when people come through selling us a bill of goods, right? What pisses us off is, then they get in touch with like the enemies of us, black folk, right? And then they send them back to our community with money and their apparatus. So like all these people who told you, like Jesse Jackson, he's been in the game for 1,000 years, made $100 million, hasn't done shit. And then they give you like this bullshit, like this holiday, this Juneteenth holiday. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wanted it. We wanted all this other shit. They're like, hey, here you go. Here's a fucking holiday. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, those days are over. No one trusts your civil rights leaders. So what happens when, shit actually hits the fan? And nobody wants to march for it anymore because nobody showed up to these marches. And little by little, every fucking few weeks, somebody shoots at the cops. And you're like, oh, we really had to. You want to label them as bad guys. Okay. Yeah, maybe they are bad guys. Maybe they're revolutionaries. What do you know? You can't call them black heroes, right? You can't call them that. So you have to put them in a box that you can. And mind you, nobody wants people running around murdering people off. But at the same time, nobody wants all these cops running around murdering off their children. And don't expect that people are going to keep buying it, right? It's been a long time. Like I said on the show, we haven't planted any bonds. We've been trying to do the right thing. And now all you see is no one's marching. No, people have sort of given up on this. And there's going to be a what's the word for an inflection point. It's coming. I don't know how it gets started or who it gets started, but I see it already. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you see it already. And I'm sure a lot of people just go, well, just put more cops on it. And I always said as a former cop, cops don't live on military bases. Now you're going to have to remove them from their families where they live to fight a war at home. And trust me, it is going to be a war. You're not just going to be able to fucking plant guns and evidence and shoot people like you've been seeing people do and then take it off the news like it never happened. Remember that guy 2 years ago who they was caught on his body cam planting a gun in someone's car? I think it was in Boston. Why didn't you follow up on that story? I have to follow these myself. I have to look up this case, right? You should be happy to go. That bad? But no, you don't, because you don't want to stain the good reputation of what? Cops? Cops have had a shitty reputation in America since about the 1860s, shortly after the Civil War, and before that, when even after that in the 40s, where if you were walking down the road, some sheriff would pick you up, no trial, and put you on a chain gang, and it's essentially kidnap you and make you work for some industrialist or somebody who wanted to be an industrial in his cotton mill for 5 years or 10 years. Just kidnap you off the street. Family never see you again. I mean, America needs to fix this shit. You're always talking about fixing shit for Israel. Fuck you. If I can't sit here and walk across the street, then nobody can sit here and walk across. Fuck you. But what is up with this free streamer? So yeah, you guys have to really, know who's doing what and why they're doing it. Haps, your restreamer is ass. This is really pissing me off. This is the second time it's done that, and like I said, we've been doing this for a while. It did this yesterday for like 20 fucking minutes. I mean, it was so bad. I was like, you couldn't see my shirt, right? I was like, man, I could take off all my clothes and just stream online. I mean, my whole house is pixelated. As soon as I said that, it cleared up. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna be pulling out my pud and playing guitar on stream. America is a hot mess. Raping women at work. Killing random citizens. It really is just. Years ago, people wanted Truth and Reconciliation Committee for racism, and quite frankly, white racists in Congress voted it down. So now, why am I trusting any of them? You want to take people's right to vote away. You want to be racist in government, like that's going to protect you, because you can't say kill those people, right? That'll get you in jail. You really can't say anything against them. But this polite bullshit talk. Now, take everybody off the fucking table. We need all new players. I'm not for all these old, ridiculous greed people and racists. And that's I think a large reason why other people aren't even voting. There you go. Now the picture's back. Right? People are voting less. People aren't going to church. People have fucking given up. And somebody's gonna repoint them in a direction that you don't want them repointed in. And I don't think that's hard to see, especially since you've been watching civil wars on your TV and bombings and insurgents on your TV for the last, what was the first Gulf War when they started putting IEDs and shit? I want to say, when was the first George Bush? 20 years ago? First Bush's, okay, Reagan was 8 years. He started in 80. He was out in 88. So the first Bush was elected in 88, and he went to 92, 88, 89, 91. 88, 89, 91. Yeah, to 92. And then Clinton came in for 8 years, 92 to 2000, right? And then George Bush showed up, and then they bombed the World Trade Center in 2001. So yeah, so we've got our presidential who's doing what when. So George Bush the first, who was a hero, mind you. I mean, I didn't agree with him, but that dude was serious. A hero from early on, right? Granted, he had like a rich dad and all this stuff, but he actually did the work, right? Joined the military, learned to fly a plane, which was not easy. Was in dogfights, shot down enemy helicopters, was shot down himself. There's a famous picture of them pulling him out of the water and putting him on, like, drink. So he became president. I'm totally for that guy. You did the job, right? But your fucking kid who didn't even go to school, didn't even go to his detail, and when you looked up for his military records, all of a sudden, oh, well, there was a fire here, and so, yeah, it's so, man, the whole thing is about America is this idea of can you prove it, right? So I know you're racist, then there's this game of can you prove it? And every time you bring up proof, they go, that's not good enough. They move the bar. It's always moving the bar. So whoever comes to power, I just hope the bloodletting won't be for like 10 years, right? It'll be quick and dirty. You'll decapitate the problem, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's really going to come down to the average citizens being super hot against each other and the government. And before you know it, you're going to get these factions. Because some of these fucking southern states are always dreaming about secession, right? But just like I'm not sitting up here going, I hate the president, shoot the president bullshit, because you'll have like dudes at your door. They can't say that because in their government situation, they're in the same case. They can't go, we should be our own country and we should secede. Because the first thing that the federal government is going to do to the state is charge them with sedition, right? Which is, I mean, it happened I want to say 2 years ago in Spain, right? They wanted, all these elected officials wanted to pull, what was the state? What was it wasn't Malta. They wanted to pull it from Spain, and like elected officials had to flee the country because they were, I guess, considered traitors for trying to break the country up. And one dude was in another country for like 2 years. Like somebody who was once an elected official. Other people came back and faced charge and got charges dropped and were banned from politics. But I guess they figured him as a ringleader or something. And yeah, it is what it is. The state's an army, right? So if you take on the state, you have to have an army. That's really what it is. And the sinister thing about this, America tells people in other countries like Iran, yeah, go drive freedom, so kick off your freedom march, and then they do it and they all get arrested and get hung. And tell them you're gay, people get gay, gets hung from the neck in Iran. Like, why you tell these people? You're telling the bold people to do stuff, and then they're being shown as they're being made an example of. China is full of this shit, right? If you want to help China get democracy, stop giving them fucking money. Oh, for God's sakes. And their people are fucked. The Chinese people are fucked because of their government, and we here, black people, are fucked because of our government. And slowly but surely, to maintain power, they've expanded that. A lot of these young white people who are racist are in the same boat as poor black and Latino people in New York and Texas and Miami. They're all over the country. And I don't know why they think that they are somehow better. Or they only want better for themselves and no one else. Get the fuck out of here. And I would love to look into these people to know how long they've been in this country. Just because you fucking joined the American military doesn't mean you get to be I see, that's what I keep doing. It should be here, and then see, I've got a weird pattern in my head that shouldn't be. I've got this pattern in my head. But it should be this. There we go. Sweet Jesus, I'm on 2 different strings. It should be this. Right, it should be then this. What I'm doing is coming from here. Instead of going here and doing this, I'm coming from here to here. I mean, it's good that you instantly know you're fucked up and you can sort of like, where did I go wrong, right? Before that, I didn't know what mistake I made. And I think a lot of the good thing is finding out the mistake you made so you can go back and get it. I think that's definitely part of this learning thing, because I'm finding, it better be a part of this learning thing, because I'm finding a lot of mistakes in this plane. So remember, it's your right to vote. These people are trying to make it harder for you to vote so they can stay in power. They write the laws and then use those laws against you and for themselves. So I really do think someone's going to come along and eat their lunch because they're arrogant about it. Everybody's unhappy and they're arrogant about it. Like I said, the middle class used to be this, and then it just keeps shrinking. But the media only ever reports on the middle class. So if you're in that bubble, you get reported on. And they don't tell you how many people who were once in the middle class are now going, what happened to my life? Yeah, we don't want to hear from you guys. You guys are all takers and greed people, welfare queens. And like, I had a job. I worked my whole life. I've never been on unemployment. Now I'm a piece of shit because you say so. Person on TV making $3 million to sit at that desk and lie to me. A lot of these anchors, that they used to call them, don't leave the desk. They don't go out and do stories, right? Unless it's with somebody important who look how important I am. I'm sitting with the president. Oh, look at me. I'm on a warship. Go down to the fucking neighborhood in your community and talk to those people and not the president. See what the story really is. They're uninterested. All right. Remember, we are a guitar playing squadron, and that, dang it, And that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to play guitar as we talk about some of this stuff. Actually, I think we might be done talking about some of that stuff. We're just going to sip our coffee and hope for a better day. But man, we're not stupid. We know what's going on here. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, we can turn this off now. All right. What we need to do is really like it's Friday, people. I want you to have a good Friday. What I just said, it's my opinion. If you're a curious mind, you can look it up, or you can like have it ruminate and see how it affects other things in your life. Maybe this is why you should go back to law school or do some pro bono work if you're a lawyer. Each one can reach one. I don't know if each one can teach one, but each one can definitely reach one. All right, so I gotta really work on this guitaring. That was your fault. Okay, we're gonna just call these warm-ups. Remember, the 7 o'clock goals is about an hour and 15 minutes to give you keep a little guitar in your heart, have a little coffee with your homie, just a prep. Once I get really better at this, I'll be able to tell you what we're doing. Oh, that is a nice breeze. I'll be able to tell you what we're doing at the PM show, the PM session. But again, tis what it is, tisn't it? Ooh, maybe I should not be wearing a black t-shirt. How do these rock stars always run around in black t-shirts that are never hot? Maybe they just ignore it. I always am extra hot when I wear a black t-shirt. Even at night. So yeah. I need to really practice precision, man, because I've got a little on the side of my pinky, right? But I should have it on the pad of my pinky. But that's all right. Once we dial this in, this talent in, it's ours forever. And who's going to be able to tell us anything? I won't even be able to lie, right? I can't be like, oh, I've been playing for 20 years and just thinking, they're like, yeah, we saw your web show. You're horrible. You were horrible for like a year and a half. I could have sold my soul to the robot devil and learned how to play the violin. How's that for a reference? Anybody? Nobody? Yeah, okay. You used to hang out with all these guys, man. We had puns and one-liners from 1,000 movies. They were the best dudes to hang out with. But, it is what it is, isn't it? People move on, people get married, people fall away. Remember what the mission is, right? We said part of this thing, I think I've decided that you need friends. You're like me. What? Wait, what? Uh, there was a. I just really need to find it and link it about how people don't have. I wonder if I can find it. How people don't have friends anymore, and my eyes. Ugh. I have an eye issue. I actually have a plate in my eye right here, so I always wear glasses because the sun is. And it's weird because like some at night, like you notice the colors are different. That's why I'm like, ooh, this and. But yeah, I know it might be in my head, it might be crazy. But yeah, I have a plate holding my eye, so they put the plates here and they put my eyeball on top of it because my eyeball was sinking into my cheekbone after a car accident. They were like, yeah, we can fix that. Should I tell you about my? Yeah, I think that's important. All right, so I had this accident, um, and the doctor comes and he goes, yeah, okay, well, your eyeball's sinking into your cheekbone, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut a piece of your brain out. We're gonna fashion a little floor for your eyeball to sit in. We're gonna go back in through this gash that you have on your eye. I had a like it didn't hit well, if it was an inch up my eye, but anyway, but I had like you can there's a crease in my eye, which is where the cut was, right? And it goes about that. So they were gonna reopen that, slip this thing, and put my eyeball on it. I was like, all right. So I had a friend who was a doctor. She was like, that's what they said? No, no, no. Go see this guy. So I go see this guy. He goes, I told him what they said. He was like, really? He's like, barbarians. Why don't they dig holes in your head, right? And then he goes, what we'll do is we'll just take the space age polymer, right? This little piece of space age plastic, and we'll just slip that in right through the hole, right? The scar, like they said. And that's it. No harm, no foul. If you want to take the polymer out, you can come back and we can, or you can leave it there forever if you don't want to. So it's still in there. But I was like, what is the difference between this doctor telling me he's going to carve up my head and, you know, and this other guy who's like, no. You know what the difference was? This was the difference. I couldn't afford the guy who did the surgery. Someone else paid for this whole thing. Uh, but had I not had that option, especially if I didn't have a friend who was a doctor, I would look totally different. And plus, I'd have a giant scar on the back of my head where they took, bone out. Just, oh, there goes the image again. So, yeah, I mean, ask questions. No one asks enough questions. And beware of who you're asking questions to. And I know you can't get a double opinion on everything. And sometimes you do, but you can't afford the other opinion. So, I mean, look, America has really fucked over its citizenry. At this point, we need better financials to look after us because these people are crooks. We need a better healthcare system because these people are just hurting you in and like getting money from the government. These not what are they? These Blue Cross Blue Shield, and every now and they send in a doctor to jail because he just charged all this insurance. It's free, and nobody looks. Like, so every now and then they get one of them to keep the rest of them honest, and then that guy gets off. I should really return to Instagram. Man, I follow this channel. They upload every day. They must shoot stuff like last 2 weeks and then they drop. But it's not really old. There's some current shit too. And then they do live stream, but there are like 5 of them. And they've got 2 producers, right? So if there were more of me, and what is this? And I have more producers, I could absolutely, compete. But I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? I am rightly oriented, right? So yeah, I could sell you like violence and hip hop and be out here niggering up and yo. I think there's enough people doing that, right? Somebody's got to be like, what is going on here? Maybe you should because don't be surprised when the cops come looking for your kid, right? And you gave up these rights. I told this guy a million years ago when I was a policeman, he didn't believe in any he was totally like. Right now, he'd be like Black Lives Matter, the terrorist organization. And I was like, why? First of all, why do you find all these fascists to be cops, who then name everybody else a fascist? And I was like, the arrogance of you, the idea, and I know you had kids. I'm like, the idea that you're standing here not wanting anybody to do this, and in 10 years, your daughter may be a liberal, and the cops will come looking for her, and then where would you be without your daughter? She's on the run. And he looked at me like, I think he internalized it for a second. And because the best way to get to people, you use the things they love against them, but don't be like, yo, wife, because then you're attacking them. But if you bring up, this could happen to your daughter, your wife, your family, the thing that you're saying is fine for other people, all of a sudden, especially the intelligent ones, they'll go, oh. But some people aren't ever listening, right? And some people are happy to detract. What you say about my wife? And I didn't say anything about your wife. So then you get off the track. Like, let's stay on point with the argument. I do that a lot with my arguments. I get people who wander. I'm like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, Hillary Clinton. Well, you blacks do good. We're not talking about, that's a different conversation. I'll have that with you, but let's finish this one first. People are I just want to say stuff, and I want to be right, and I want to be angry about it. I'm not trying to humor you, man. It's fucking late in the game. You are not serious. Your first quarter shit. You should have been paying attention. We've moved past that. No one's marching, right? No one's giving money. No one goes to church anymore. No one's getting married anymore. No one's having families anymore, right? No one can afford college anymore. No one can afford these medical bills anymore. There's obviously something going on. It's not the blacks. Do the blacks have all this money? Are we building giant towers in Scotland? Maybe there is a group, and I should get. Who are they? If you're one of these super powerful black people who get all this money that people are always talking about, let me know. I want in. I want to be a welfare mama queen. I'm pretty sure they're all loaded. They all probably got Bezos money. They're going to come for you too, because you are not part of their collective. They want you to, I guess, target. I mean, look, it's a proxy war, quite frankly. It's the blacks against the whites, quote unquote, right? It's the women against the men. It used to be the Christians against the Jews. Now it's just the Jews, because nobody goes to church. Like I said, Catholics. Jews still go to synagogue. So do the Muslims. Muslims still go to mosque. Christians are too busy fucking doing nonsensory, raising money. And black Christians are too busy twerking. So figure that shit out. Man, I have been talking politics for about an hour. Why don't we get down to some guitar playing? The guitar it begins right now. We're gonna do man, maybe I should do a morning wrap up, because you guys will just watch TV and they'll lie to you. You just need to know the bulletins of what happened last night and then cut them shits off, because they're just gonna spin it. It'll be like, Martians came down yesterday and they want you to buy these socks. You'd be like, wait, what? Martians want me to buy stuff? What? If Jesus showed up today and the resurrection was happening and he popped up, the first question he would get is, who made those sandals? Well, whose sandals are you wearing, Jesus? What robe is that, Jesus? Who did your hair? Everybody thinks that Jesus is going to be, I'm talking about Christians now, is going to be down with them, right? So I think the blacks think Jesus is going to show up with a gold chain and talk about, y'all been treated badly, we're going to fix this shit, right? I think the bankers think Jesus is going to show up and give them clearance for whatever. I think when he shows up, all these wars that we fought in the name of God, explain yourself. All right, so let's do this this pentatonic, because man, I've been shooting my mouth off for a minute. It is your Friday. Woo! You got eight hours or so, right? I want you to go home after work. If you drink, I want you to pop a beer for yourself, toast it for yourself and your family. They don't have to be around, just, or if you, whatever you're drinking, even if you don't drink and it's water or ginger ale, just for my family, because I want them to be here in 100 years. And I don't know if you, look, families begets families, right? Once you run out, like nobody's having kids anymore. Your line stops there. And it was a good run. You ran for all of humanity, right? And then your line stopped. Your brother's line may go on. He's got kids, but your line stopped. You are the inroad of your father's line or mother's line, whatever the case may be. Yeah. The only people who can afford kids are rich. The only people who can afford houses are rich. They did something to this society while telling you to blame everybody else. They consolidated all the money. So we will see what happens when people are too hungry to march and nobody cares about your speeches anymore. I think that's sooner than you think. But you know what'll happen? They'll do money giveaways, right? The government will send you back $500, and everybody will act like that is enough to educate you, to get you a house, you pay your rent, to get you a college loan, while they quietly write laws against people. It is illegal to protest. No, it's not. This is fucking America. All they do is make laws against protesting. That curfew law is bullshit. Like, they just declare like this right. They just declare it, and in doing so, erase your right. And that's what your rights are. Your rights are fucking inalienable. They can't take them away. They can't put them on pause. And they do it all the time. And we have a long history of doing it all the time because it was done to black people. And now people go, well, this is just how we do it. And you never wonder, wait, well, how do we do it? Like, they just killed some kid. This is the truth. This is the truth. No one can rule us if we don't obey. But we don't want to have wild anarchy, right? We want people in charge to fucking be about it. And that's it. We want to be able to hold them account. And they made that impossible. And like I said, it's a game of your problems are the blacks. Oh, blacks, your problems are the racist whites. Oh, and then in everything in between. Your problem, Puerto Ricans, are the blacks, and like in little communities. And so the inner dynamics in like New York, which I know, between the blacks and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and the fucking Jews and the fucking out-of-towners is very different than a place where you don't get a lot of blacks, Jews, or out-of-towners, right? So I'm assuming if it's an all-white society, let's say in Montana, the dynamic shifts slightly, but it becomes all white people, right? But some are for socialism and some are for, and it just becomes a way to I don't even know what those issues would be, but a way to divide. Like, I watch a lot of cowboy movies, and it's always the ranchers versus the free range person versus ranch. So there's always going to be something so somebody can run for office and gin up hate against you in this society, and it's done really well, and it's been doing so for at least since the 1860s. Pro-life, here's your baby. Yeah, and look, first of all, you want to talk about pro-life really piss off some people? I'm pro-life. Yeah, give the kid a shot. I mean, it's not his fault that you got drunk or high or did whatever. The idea that you can do this reminds me of people just saying whatever about black people doing anything to them. I think it's really sinister. And I think it's held up by a weird thing, like this whole "it's my body" thing that women love to say. I go, okay, so when you get yourself into trouble, get yourself out of it, right? This whole "my body" thing is a super selfish thing in a place where if you scream, you want your neighbors to come and help you, and they should come and help you. But your judgment also matters, right? Abortion should be mandatory for everybody. What's that? That Kang Kronos thing on The Simpsons when they're running for office, and one goes, "Abortions for everybody," and everybody goes, "Boo." Well, half of them go, "Boo," and the other goes, "Very well." Abortions for nobody, and everybody half the people go, "Boo," and they go, "Very well." Abortions for half, and no abortions for the rest. And everybody goes, "Yay!" Just goofy, stupid goodness. But at the end of the day, it's a thing that I don't have to deal with. I mean, it takes two to get into this position that people happily tell you after the baby's here, right? But if the baby's here and you don't want it, give it to me, right? I'm the father. Oh, nope. Well, didn't he have a say? He got no say. It's my body. Okay, but when the baby's here, not our body, it's our baby now. All the language of it falls in on itself when you look closer at it. It just gets goofy, and they expect you to buy it, like they guilt you into buying it. And I'm like, I'm not even talking to you. I'm from a big ass family. Of course, I'm not for abortion. I love these kids. My nieces and nephews. I put them on my lap when they're small, and I ride them around, and I make them all excited and make them all crazy, and then I send them back to their parents, all hyped up and wild them up. They're always like, "What? Why'd you? I told you not to." "Oh, I'm sorry. He's just a little dude, right?" And then, like, years down the line, I'm their favorite uncle. That's the way that's supposed to work. I'm supposed to rile them up and give them back to you. But I don't hear too many women regretting it. And I think some women who did it 20 years ago are probably thinking, what would XYZ be now, right? Would I be grandma, would he be a doctor, a lawyer? Would he just be a knucklehead? Well, I just had a ton of great memories, and yeah, I think you would have had a ton of great memories. But it is what it is, right? That my body thing is, I think it's an incredibly golden, self-serving kind of philosophy that these people run on. I asked my parents if I'm adopted, and they said not yet. We can find anyone who wants you. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like weird parent sense of humor. That's unique to your family. God only knows the good stuff that you could have passed down. But again, it's like I said on the show. I mean, God bless women, but I mean, women need to be a little more honest about shit. I've never heard uh, any woman regret or like, man, I'm sorry I broke up with that guy. I heard guys say that, man, I should have fucking cleaned up my act, man. I don't know what, you know. I've heard that from guys. Maybe women tell each other this stuff, but maybe, you know, if every now and then you heard some woman go, I shouldn't have broke up with him and I really regret the divorce of this. Maybe more people go, huh? So people do regret these things. And they're not just the coolest thing to see on TV. Everybody wants to be divorced and nobody wants to be married. Me Too is the new regret. I think Me Too was a good thing, but I think it got corrupted almost immediately. And you could see it. Like that guy, Michael Weatherly, is still on TV. And they gave what's the woman from Eliza Dushku $10 million because he's sexually harassed her. That's evidence that he's a sexual harasser, and you had to give him a fortune. $10 million is the fortune. You know how that changed your life if you got $10 million. But he's still on TV making millions of dollars. So at the very minimum, the Me Too thing failed in that regard, took the eye off the ball, and now they're talking about fucking. Excuse my language. You're talking about Bill Cosby, right? Yeah, exactly. There's another thing. Presidents don't go to jail. Bill Clinton is never going to be. You can talk. Like we were just talking about this earlier. You can talk all this smoke about sending Donald Trump to jail. Ex-presidents don't go to jail because you can not only just sex with Bill Clinton. You can look at where they were getting money from that Clinton Foundation, from the Iranians, and then running for president. All this shady shit that you could look into and throw these two in jail for won't be looked into. They are quite frankly above it. I hate to say it, but yeah. They're above it. You name me a president that anybody sent to jail, and they've all been doing dirty, sketchy shit. Bill Clinton gave Michael Rich a pardon, and a lot of people think it was paid for. But it is what it is. We're down here arguing, not even allowed to throw rocks. But don't think that we don't know what's going on. And little by little, like it's like a seesaw, right? More corruption, more corruption, more corruption, and now the place is so level that people can't stand up straight and they're wondering why, right? And by stand up straight, I mean buy a house, get married, get a job, get a college education that doesn't cost you a fucking fortune in 40 years to pay back. All this smile on your face and send you down the river shit. Yeah. And that's another thing. You're mad at him for being, look, people in that environment have sex for roles and jobs all the time, sex for interviews. Or now all of a sudden you're shocked by it. I find that amazing. And I find it incredibly self-serving. That whole, I moved on her like a bitch thing. It's just bullshit man talk, like talking to a guy, right? And you may not have liked the sound of it, but they made a lot of hay. So, because they really thought that women were just going to be like, but I think men talk like this. You may not want to be talked like this, but guys, you talk bullshit to each other. And I think women just go, the fucking men are being ridiculous again. I've seen my mom do that 1,000 times with my dad and my uncles. Man, just get out of here, right? And I heard my dad do it to my mom and her girlfriend. Man, women are crazy. You just go up, and that's just kind of like the weird little interplay of men and women of just kind of like he being silly or she being silly. Yeah, but you can be an asshole, right? But they thought it was really going to cost him the election. They had remember all the stuff they said about his daughter, implying sex, and like, where are the pictures? Remember all the stuff they said about prostitutes peeing on them in Russia? Where are the pictures? I mean, I really do think that they tried to treat Donald Trump like they treat the average black teen when some shit goes down. They just lean into all the weird shit that people have to believe about black people. And I was like, I can't believe that they're actually pulling this shit. I don't know if he's clean, but I think he's just as, I think he's cleaner than the Clintons. But like I said, being from New York, being from New York, and watching him, I remember when he did the Wallman skating rink and he fixed it. They were at it for 3 years and he fixed it in 6 months. People were like, yay! And then he got the name The Donald, right? He became like a city kind of thing. But everybody said the mafia ran the construction thing, so you had to do business with the mafia. Now all of a sudden they're shocked. All right, so looking at all these other people, all these other builders, see what I mean? All of a sudden you want to tell people, everybody in politics, especially squeaky clean, but this guy is dirty and he can't, oh, these hollowed halls, he can't be, shut up. You're all just kind of sketchy AF. He's my troll model. Yeah, so but I told you, if he runs again, I'm voting for him because I like the fact that he put his finger in their soup, just kind of like right, and stared him right in the face when he did it, right in their meal. He ate the lunch of those 13 Republican candidates for president, and then ate the lunch of 10 Democratic candidates for president. Right? It was that those debates were fucking awesome. And then they had the silence, so now they're talking shit about him, and he can't even respond. That right there is fear, right? Because I think they know he's going to eat their lunch in the next election. So what this whole thing has been about, and will be about for the next 2 years before the cycle starts again, to run for 2024, 23, what is it? 2024. They're trying to discredit him, and they want to make sure they have indictments and go, well, hey, if you run, we're going to put your kids in jail. He's not going to, but it's about the leverage of his kids. And if he wins, that becomes a dead issue anyway, right? They don't want him to run again. He's going to eat Biden's lunch. He ate Biden's lunch the last time. He made a couple of mistakes, though. They told him, be more polite at these debates or we'll cut your mic. He should have not went for that at all. And then now he's got to play their game with their referees and bullshit. I'd have been like, I'm not gonna this got me here. I'm gonna eat your lunch, right? And then I'll be telling all these women who are sleeping with these people in the media just to tell you that they're not serious. They're not sleeping with the fucking cameraman. They're sleeping with you know what I'm saying? So before you point your finger at me sexually, I'm gonna point my finger at you sexually. And on top of that, I'm gonna continue to eat your lunch. Then he got in debate with some shady fuckers, right? I think the same people who ruined his presidency kind of ruined George Bush's presidency, right? He brought in all the neocons, right? And Trump, who wasn't a politician at all, but went Republican, brought in all these Republicans who were just whatever. Can you at least point two fingers? If he doesn't win, I'm giving up on humanity. I don't know. I mean, if Joe Biden dies, it's Kamala Harris, and she is ill-equipped to deal, right? She came in third, and yeah, Joe Biden came in third, and she came in fourth, and they managed to win because of bullshit going on at the Democratic Party and fucking Obama getting involved and them sort of cutting the throat of Bernie Sanders. So, I mean, and then telling you it wasn't what it was is just telling you that you're ridiculous. So yeah, Joe Biden is gonna freaking look. I want Joe Biden to live past his and not get elected twice, right? He shouldn't have gotten elected the first time. I want him to live, and then I want him to lose. Because if he dies, he becomes this great martyr thing, and we gotta go. Oh, no. I don't want any of these people to die there. Like who's the guy? Good Trouble. What is his name? Anyway, Good Trouble. What is Good Trouble? Especially from a guy who's been sitting in Congress for 40 years. Doing what? He had no famous legislation. He's supposed to be a civil rights activist. Just LWs, do you think so? Well, our whole Congress is old people. And they clog the toilet, quite frankly. There are other people who should be there. First of all, we should have a fucking limit on this. Nobody wants to hear what you think about abortion when you're 89. Get out of here. Let the people who are in this realm deal with these problems. Yeah, the whole thing is the whole thing is sad and ridiculous. All right, we have been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes. Bum, 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 bum. Is it? It's supposed to be hot as balls today. What's the weather today?
It's currently clear and 75 degrees.
What's the high temperature today?
The high will be 91 degrees today.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not all of us. I mean, Britain has an elderly ruler. Actually, the youngest ruler is North Korea, right? Uh, the UN's the guy who heads the UN. I forget his name. I had Ban Ki Moon in my head, but that's not right. That was a session or two ago. He's like 70, right? It's just, but beware, like you get all these young rulers, they just want to perpetually war to feel their manhood, right? Now sing us a freedom song. Yeah, Kanye won. Yeah, they want. I mean, tell you, America wants goofy distractions. To to they want MTV elections, right? Goofy distractions, goofy topics, because nobody wants to sit down and have it be too dry and lose the audience. But I'm sort of wonky. I like to look at and watch this shit. Who even is Kanye? Oh my God, Kanye is a genius, an absolute genius. But here's his problem: stay in your lane, genius. Your music is amazing, but you're not a political genius. You're just and that whole and I told somebody else this thing about Kanye. They want the whole Kanye up as so like I said a distraction. Um, and the Republicans really wanted him to run to siphon votes, but neither one of them should have humored Kanye. Um, he's the best autistic person ever. Yeah, I don't know. Kanye is a marvel and a genius at music, and that's where they should have kept him. But he's got a ton of money and a ton of lawyers who who do this stuff. Let's run the whole scale. Oh, I mean, he could have used that money. Oh, he could have used that money to give someone who actually had some know-how and some gravitas a shot, but he used it for him, himself. Yeah, he is terrible at communicating. Yeah, yeah. He communicates in staccato and breakbeats. That's it. Um, yeah, I like Kanye, and they're always trying to get me to blame somebody, and I never blame who they want me to blame. Oh man, do we have any more? Yep. Well, we have been talking about politics a lot. We have been doing very little guitar playing. Let's see if we can just run through the major pentatonic real fast. Ugh. Wow. I blame God. I blame God. So sorry. I just found that funny. Jesse got up going, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? What did I do? I gave you guys free will. You guys are running the fucking muck. All right. So yeah. I am teaching myself guitar every morning at 7 a.m. and at 4 p.m. The 4 p.m. shows are longer because people are out of work and you can have a beer and talk. But this is just us sort of slightly getting acquainted before we go to work, trying to keep music and stuff on our mind, and just sort of running over the fat beats of the day. And we did some of that. We did the New York City mayor's race, and how this person, and there's a lot of uh, operatives of these people around who are in politics, writing slanted stories. So yeah, America is just a hot shit show of fuckery, and somebody's gonna have to fix it. Haitian police say foreign hit squad assassinated the president. Good Lord, you people are the stupidest people. Wait, who are they? Ooh, they look Arab. Ooh, this is what happens when you drink the fucking Kool-Aid. Oh my God. Yeah, they don't look black at all. It's good that they don't look Puerto Rican. Not Puerto Rican, Dominican. What's the island opposite Haiti is Dominican. We're Dominico, yeah. So this is apparently the guys who did it in the you can't even see it because it is what it is. So yeah, that's the end of them. I fully expect them to be tortured tonight and then murdered off in the next few months. But again, this is deep. I mean, why would you do that? You're going into a foreign country to assassinate their leader. How you getting out? How you getting out? Are you going to go in and take over and run it? That's different. If it was a suicide mission, why are you still alive? It seemed like a suicide mission to me. Always get the average version of a sex doll because it blows itself up pretty good. Yeah, so political assassinations, they're a thing, and they have a way of becoming very popular in societies once one is done. Oh boy, we have to end the stream. 8:15. We've been doing this thing for an hour. I will see you back here at 4 p.m. A little less politics, maybe a little more politics, who knows, and a lot more guitar playing. Good Lord, I don't think I just drop. I'm always dropping this thing. I think we only got through one of these things. Yeah, we only got through one of them. And right. So yeah, we're gonna call this one a washout. We did it. It was great. It wasn't our best. Thank you, Aggie W, for showing up in the chat and talking to me. I tried to stall the guitar as best as I could. I could. Oh my goodness. But that's all right. I'm bad now. We acknowledge that. But we're here every day, twice a day. If you show up in January, you're going to be surprised at how good a guitar player I am. Fingers crossed in saying that. But yeah, we will be back here at 7 a.m. for about an hour's guitar practice and a little chit chat. But before that, we'll be back here at 4 p.m. this afternoon for absolute guitar practice because we absolutely crush it in the afternoon sessions. I'm feeling suicidal. I'll come. Come on, no shade in the chat, man. Our whole flow is trying to get there together. I mean, there's enough mean people in the world. You don't have to bring it here, right? At least that's the philosophy. This is how I love. Yeah. So it's 8:20. All right. So we got to get to work. I want to thank all of you. I want to especially thank you, Augie, for coming in and hanging out and talking to me about politics and guitar. I hope I see you again. And we will see all of you, the many millions of us watching tonight at 4. Yesterday, our 4 o'clock session went to 4.5 hours, 5 hours, right? So we went from like 4 to like 9:30. We were supposed to go to 8, and I think we went to 9:30. So yeah. Who knows? If you start streaming, I will see you. Have a good one, man. Enjoy your day, the remainder of it. I don't know if you're in America or not. It's early morning here, but I think it might be. What time is it around the world? What time is it in Britain?
It's 1:16 p.m.
Oh, it's
London,
afternoon.
England.
It's afternoon in Britain. Okay. So it's a little afternoon in Europe. That's awesome. And when I do the 1 o'clock and it goes to 8, it's 1 a.m. there. So 4 a.m. here is like 9 there. Okay, so 4 is a better time for international chat, but we'll see. It's Monday. Oh, where are you? It's Monday morning here. Because it's Monday morning here too. You're probably on the East Coast with me, or likely, because the morning only goes until about 11, right? All right, so we're gonna end this here. It's 1:20. We're gonna end it on the 1:21 mark, my favorite number. We wish you well. That's about 40 seconds from here. And again, we're every day a little politics. That was a lot this session. Come on, Haps, you got to get this digital picture together, and it's got to hold. Otherwise, I can't game stream. And I really want to game stream here. I can't even see my cool ass shirt. What it says. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We wish you all the best, and we will see you tonight. Don't take any shit from anybody, right? Remember, you are more powerful than you know, and I got your back for what that's worth. We will see you in the next one. Peace out.